Hey YouTube, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nobby back again. News and views on the news. Okay. All right, this is the doozy. As you heard, Amy Schumer wanted a raise in her salary that she had already negotiated with Netflix because the two black guys you see here got paid $20 million an episode. So she, as a white woman, felt like that she should be getting more money since those guys got all that money. Never mind that they are a bigger draw than her. Never mind that they increase the money of everybody that watches them. We'll get to that in a minute. All right. Never mind all of that. Never mind that not many people watch Amy Schumer. Period. Not to the degree that they anticipate Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. Never mind that Netflix had to pay them to get them to come back. Never mind all of that. For some reason, these women think that when men do harder work, and let's not get it twisted. She's trying to back down now or walk her statement back or talking about, oh, what I really meant was, no, she got the money. She went there. And the first what was in her heart, from out of the abundance of her heart, her mouth spoke. And she believed that as a woman, she should be getting paid the same thing that these men are getting paid. All right. That these men should not be getting paid for their value to Netflix. Or if they should be getting paid for their value to Netflix, never mind her value to Netflix, which is virtually non-existent at the moment. But she should just be getting paid more because, well, she's a female comedian. That's it. She's not as good. She doesn't have as much of a draw. She's not as anticipated, not even close, not as legendary. All right. She has not shown that she can maintain an audience like these guys did. And yet she demanded equal pay. This shows you that women do not want equal pay for equal work. They want to be paid with the man or more than the man, regardless of the work they put in, and they don't think that they need to put in good work to get that pay. Case in point, you don't have any women models talking about, well, I need to take a pay cut because the male models are not getting close to what a female model was. And I pointed that out. The top male model gets $1 million. Man, there's so many. Every white female model is above him. And I say female because there are no black female models that are close to him. That is in demand, the worth to the magazine or whatever, right? And so, whoop, there it is. But them guys ain't running up, oh, we need to be equal pay. They know what it is. Ain't nobody trying to see men unless they're going to be in GQ magazine showing off clothes, but men don't buy clothes like that. All right, so that's what you have. Now let me greet everybody because this is going to be some stuff. Y'all pay attention. Harvard and Hardu Gudag, Ola Go Oi to the Bang, Vashes Los, Bonjour mes amis, Ked, Bawani Konnichiwa, Ni hao ni ma, Sani Bonani, Jabo Harbagani, Assalamu alaikum and Shalom. All right, let's break this down. Amy Schumer asked Netflix to up her pay after learning that male comedians' salary, Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, earned almost double what Schumer did for her comedy special. We'll get to how bad her comedy special was. All right. And she did this after her special. All right. Hold on for a second. All right, you BAWs, pay attention to this because this is what you helped along. And it gets worse than this. According to Variety, Amy Schumer was paid $11 million in 2016 for the Leather special, which premiered in March. At the time that Schumer made the deal with Netflix, so she made a deal with Netflix. She was a pretty hot commodity. She had just graced the cover of Vogue. So she didn't make it for comedy. She made it for being a female. That's her hot commodity. She was a female that was on Vogue. Listen to the idiocracy of these writers. And published her New York Times best-selling memoir, Girl with the Lower Back Tattoo. Tramp stamp. The year before, in 2015, she starred in Trainwreck, won a Peabody Award for her show, Inside Amy Schumer. At no point did they say she was funnier than Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle. As a matter of fact, she did not do as well as Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock in comedy. She's a stand-up comedian, but all the stuff that they noted was not for stand-up comedy. She was on Vogue because she's a female, talking about sexual things. All right, she wrote a book. All right, this is a stand-up thing. All right, but look at how the people, these people, but black women jumped on the bandwagon of the white women for the feminist movement. And it benefited women, all right, just not the BAW. So when Rock and Chappelle made headlines for racking up $20 million per Netflix special, her team asked that the streaming service pay Schumer more money, and it worked. Variety did not disclose exactly how much more Schumer made, but reports that she received significantly more compensation after she raised the question of fairness. So, wait a minute. Now, I'm going to point out to how everybody writing for white women and Amy Schumer, when it comes to this pay scale, in concerning the black men, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, how they weren't writing for fairness, but superiority. And I'll show you this in a minute. When we deal with fair pay, who's fair, right? So the question of fairness. All right. Now let's deal with this fairness. Yeah, y'all didn't think I was going to go there, but time to bring out the stats. Fairness. Look at this graph here. Up at the top in red, racial ethnic background, women, men, females earning the percent of earnings at the same group. So is white females in comparison to white males, black females in comparison to black males, Asian females in comparison to and Hispanic in comparison, right? So the person, all right, then you have female earnings as compared to the white male earnings. All right. So you have 2016, 2015. What I want you to pay attention to is you have all ethnicities, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, or Latina. Now go to white and go to women. So the first one, women, second one down, you will see that the white women earn more than the black man. The black man the black men earn more than the black women, which means that when the black women who earns less than the black man and the white woman jumped on the bandwagon, all right, of the feminist movement, it did not help them at all. It made matters worse for them, is because it caused they, the feminists, caused there to be enmity between the Afro-Indigenous man and the black woman. All right. And the Afro-Indigenous men, while they did not make as much as even the white woman, they were able to live within the means of which they made and hold on and save, while the black American woman started spending on everything and ended up only having the net worth of $5. Now the kicker is that the Asian women make more than all women. The Asian man makes more than all men. They talk the earnings. All right. And so when these feminists and these women holler that they want an equal playing field, they don't. They're lying. They only want to make as much as the white male, because they already know they make more than the black male. So you see the problem I would have with Amy Schumer when she gets mad that black males are making more money than her, because one, they're more famous, two, they're funnier, three, they have proven to be more of a draw financially and people wise to what they do. And Dave Chappelle, most interestingly, as his show went on, the more people he got. See, what happens is normally when somebody put on a show, it'll reach a ceiling and then it starts to drop off, right? Not the Chappelle show. And that's why they paid him so much. But there was a couple of reasons why he walked away from that. All of them legit. All right? All of them are legit. All right? So, now when the white woman talks about equal pay for women only, keep in mind that the white woman has always been making more than the black man. So when they got the black woman to join with them in their feminist movement to get all equality, at no point ever in the history of the feminist movement did they mean equality for all. They wanted the white women, to be equal with the white men, leaving the black men earning less than them, as they always had been, because of the racism that's in this. Remember, black men can't even keep a channel on Google without Google shutting it down. And most of the reason behind that is the biggest enemy we have to trying to make an honest living is the women that look like us, as far as outward appearance, skin tone. You know, our mama's black. All right. So when you look at this, 2015, you have the white women and white men in the dark green. The white women have always been making more than the black men. The black men have been making more than the black woman. As a matter of fact, the black woman's pay is more equal to the black man's pay than anyone else's pay is equal to the white man's pay. It's just that the black men tend to hold on to their money longer than the black woman. And the things that black men spend their money on has more value than hair. Used hair by somebody else that needs glue and all the rest of that stuff. So with these women, it's not about true equality. It's about superiority to even their own men. Now, the top is the critics, the top is the bottom is the people. And everybody's getting tired of these critics. The Leather and Special have received generally favorable reviews based on 5 critics. 72 out of 100 according to Metacritic. These include San Francisco Chronicle reviews entitled Schulmer's Comic Genius on full display, Netflix special. All right, here's the thing. So they write a whole bunch of flowery things, and all of them are bull. Why do critics write such BS commentary, misleading people to watch stuff that they hate? We'll get to this. They hated this show. They did not like her show. But the critics tried to get you to watch it so they could get favors to see it beforehand. And then they write eloquently about the bull that they didn't really see or enjoy, but they act like they did. All right. They tell you everything was so funny, but this is what the audience said. However, the special received a large number of negative ratings from the audience, including a user score of 1.2 on a Metacritic audience score. On Metacritic, audience score of 6% on Rotten Tomato, 6% on Rotten Tomato, and an average 1 star out of 5 on Netflix. A week after premiering, it also received many more reviews than any other Netflix comedy special released around the same time. In other words, her show was so bad that people needed to tell Netflix about it. All right, so how are they going to dispel this? Reporting by Split Sider suggests that Reddit commentators contribute this to citing posts on the Donald Trump supporting subreddit. See, and they go here. And what they're trying to marry up is why the audience hates something that the critics love, to try to make the critics look good. And basically, now they're trying to cover for the critics. All right. And so they're going to blame it on the alt-right trolls. Except when you look at the commentators, they were mainly liberal and middle of the road. First of all, alt-right people aren't going to watch Amy Schumer. She's not a. Come on, y'all. Come on. Y'all know how stupid that is, that excuse is. Alt-right people ain't watching her. The only people watching her are women, simps, manginas, people that want to see her do some crazy stuff. All right. And the general public that's pretty much attracted to a woman that has blonde hair and will watch her for aesthetics. You have a few that thought she did something funny back in the past, but when they saw this, they were completely turned off. Her audience is not alt-right. She got panned a 1 star on Netflix. Think about this. If it was just alt-right, then everybody else would at least risen it to 3 stars. A 1 star means that they had to put something. It had to start at 1. If it would start lower, it would have. She only got 1 out of 5 stars. That means nobody really liked it. Rotten Tomatoes, 7% audience score. All right. Now, keep this in mind. The Oscars, Chris Rock, by being on the Oscars, drew 42.2 million, even in the midst of a boycott by the Afro indigenous people and the black people. All right, keep that in mind. Dave Chappelle, people were waiting for him to come back. And with the exception of the transgenders, people pretty much loved his show. As a matter of fact, I and a few others are using quotes, getting a deeper meaning about everything. I mean, he got people talking about his show. Also, he, with the Chappelle show, was the only person that continued to have an audience grow show after show after show without reaching the plateau. And he brought in hundreds of millions more than Amy Schumer could to the people that put him on there. Amy Schumer's pretty much losing Netflix money. Even hindsight. But they gave her the money anyway. Why? Simply because she's a white woman. She wouldn't have gotten it if she was a black woman. Let's just be honest. Now they're going to give it to Dave Chappelle, and really, if they were like sorry comedians, I don't think they should have got the money either as black men. See, and that's the thing with us. As men, we recognize that dang, if the dude ain't funny, you shouldn't be paying him $20 million. We looking at the bottom line too. We don't want Netflix to go under for some of the good quality stuff that they put out. We don't want them to be bought out by Disney so that Disney can make it trash. Or Google or anything else. You see how Google hinders our voice on YouTube? All right. So this is what's going on. He got a 92. All right. You seen what Chris Rock did? You seen what Dave Chappelle did? So why in the world did this woman think she needed more than 11 million? You know what that's equivalent to? That's equivalent to a quarterback in the NFL negotiating before the season and not only do not make it to the playoffs or Super Bowl, but lose all but one game. All right, let's give them 2 games. They lose all but 2 games, but of the people they're competing with, they don't even come close, right? Then going up after the Super Bowl is won by the 2 better quarterbacks, right? Renegotiating their quarterback contract saying, I deserve as much money as the dudes that just went to the Super Bowl. Even though they consistently go to the Super Bowl, I deserve their money. And even though I consistently lost, all right, but because I am XYZ, we need to make it equal. But you don't hear that from men. You don't hear that from men until they perform. Once they perform, then they go and renegotiate. Once they outperform the guy, but she hasn't done that. If she would have outperformed them, I would understand that. But she is not a legend. She hasn't outperformed them. She's not the draw that they are. But because she's a woman, she feels that she needs to get almost as much or almost as much money as they are. Even though that as a white woman, she automatically gets paid more than black men straight off the tip. So when we talk about equality, they're not talking about, the feminist movement is not talking about equality. If they were really talking about equality, in their arguments for it, they would have included the black men. Because the white women, as I've proven, make more than the black men. So they need to be saying that black men, black women, and white women need to all be equal with the white man. But that's not their argument. They're saying that women, and by women, they only mean themselves, should be equal to the white man. And they just used the black woman, used and abused her, separated her from her man, but she didn't have to follow them. Nobody had to follow them. They didn't put a gun up to nobody's head. They made the conscious decision to align themselves with the women that just wanted to use their bodies. And what did the black women get out of it? Nothing. But worse. They have alienated their own, destroyed their families, took on their ways, and destroyed the community by having 21 million plus abortions since 73, thereby decimating the people as a whole and the seed of the man, to the point where the community, the Afro-Indigenous community, is on a slippery slope to extinction. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Click the bell. When you click the bell, click the gears. With that said, I'm out.